It's damn next. Sit down.
It's the Love of the Game podcast. And we're live and we back. It's season 2. This is episode 12. Hey man, we have been telling y'all, Huff, how long we been telling them? How long we been telling them this, Huff? We've been trying to explain how this goes down. And we've been trying to let y'all know what time it is. This is season 2, episode 12. We've been rocking this thing for the past 3 years, and for 3 years we've been telling y'all there are no suckers in our circle. No suckers in this circle, period, at all. Y'all understand what time it is right now? We got Bryce in here, we got Huff in here, and we got more Georgia basketball royalty in the building. I'm talking about, hey man, this show for the state of Georgia. So we got to put on for the state of Georgia. So we got to bring you legends from the state of Georgia. We bringing you legends from the state of Georgia. And from Doug High.
Yeah, from Doug High. Dre, you too kind, man. You too kind. No, you ain't talking about me, about Jarvis. But let me start off. I appreciate you guys having us on. It means a lot. But I'm gonna move right to the right side of my camera. Start talking about this dude, Cabral Huff.
Yes.
He don't know I'm getting ready to say this. But for the folks that don't know the roots of that St. Francis program, I'm gonna tell you this. Drew Callett has done a phenomenal job. We got a kid, Dewan, of course, we know him. He's going to be an unbelievable player for us. But I'm going to go all the way back to, I think it was 2008. Was that Huff? It was 2008, right? 2008 to 2014?
Yeah.
I have not seen to this day a high school program, well, Holy Innocents the same way right now, but it's as structured, fundamentally sound as he is right now. From a long time, I was 25, 26 years old, and I'm saying, damn, that's a high school program. He's done an unbelievable job, and that program is still, I guess, benefiting from the fruits of that labor that you put down over in there.
Well, I appreciate
That's
it.
Big time.
Appreciate it.
100%. 100%. And I can't wait for practices to get back up so I can steal some more stuff, Huff.
So I got a question to ask you.
Okay.
Are you gonna coach? I forgot my mask. Are you gonna coach in one of those face masks?
Yeah, you know what it's gonna have on it? It's gonna have the Morehouse emblem on one side and Mays on the other.
There you go. Underneath that thing, you gonna pay homage to Doug High though.
Yeah. Oh, see, here we go. See, just like when we had y'all here, he was talking this Doug High stuff. All right, Andre, this your fault. I'm tired of this Doug High stuff, man.
You know that Doug love, it runs deep and it's strong. That Doug love runs deep and it's strong.
Everybody can talk about every rivalry in Atlanta they want to talk about right now.
Yeah.
But if you go back to the 90s, that Doug Mays rivalry is unbeatable, man.
Nothing like it.
Yeah.
Every year we had it down at Morehouse College.
Yep.
Until one unfaithful year that they.
Don't want to talk about that one.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Yeah.
Hey, I just want to know. I've been trying to get Huff to sing the Mays fight song, like the cool song, and he won't do it, man.
I ain't doing that, man. You ain't gonna embarrass me.
Hey, that's what makes me feel like Mays is not as good as Doug.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go.
I feel that way, Huff.
School song.
What'd you say, Jarvis?
We still know the Douglas School song.
I bet y'all won't sing it right now.
I bet I won't either.
Oh, yeah, no, I was about to put me under the bus. It ain't gonna be no solo, I tell you that.
I'm gonna sing you solo, you can't hear me.
Right.
I got that from Coach Davis.
Yeah.
I've been working on Huff trying to get him to sing this daggone song, man. I Googled it one time, man. Try to look it up, man, but we can't get him to do it, man.
You'll be better off getting me and Bryce to do Dear Old Morehouse.
I'll do that.
Hey, Bryce is definitely gonna shimmy to that. Can you
shimmy the Dear Old Morehouse?
No.
Wait a minute.
I can't do it, Bryce. Hit him with the shoulders, Bryce. You can't do it, bro.
No, just a little bit.
Man, as y'all can see, we have Jonas and Jarvis Hayes in the building with us today, man. It's gonna be a great show. We're gonna have some fun today, man.
Yes, we are.
Let's talk about. I want to talk about a couple of things, man. But let's start off with everybody's favorite subject, man. How the transfer portal. how is life dealing with the transfer portal? And I just want to know from y'all experience, from y'all played, coached, right? Great careers at multiple levels. Is the transfer portal as big of a deal as people think it is, or what has been the impact that you guys have seen from a coaching standpoint, and what are you seeing from like advising like from a player standpoint?
So for me, I think it adds a whole different level of complexity to it. It gives these student athletes, I think, more freedom. I'm good with that. Because, as a coach, I try to treat people right. And a lot of times people transfer, number one, if a coach lies to them, or number two, a coach's personality is something totally different from when they recruited. Hey, this is not what I signed up for. And so Jonas Hayes is good with the transfer portal, because I do think these kids need to have options if that's a situation that they feel it doesn't necessarily fit them. I do think there needs to be some parameters in how the transfer portal is administered, like a GPA cap or a GPA minimum that allow these guys to transfer and have an extra year. But I don't see it being an issue. What it does, it just adds an extra level of recruiting for us. So we checking that portal just as much as we looking at a rival site or talking to our buddies for the next great high school kid. We are in tune with with that transfer portal. And if you can find a situation where an AAU coach, a high school coach that may alert, hey, so and so is getting ready to get in the portal in the next couple of days, and you can start lining up. It adds a different level of recruitment that we have got to. That's just the way it's going, and if we don't change with it, we're going to get left behind.
Yeah, I second that too. Like, I don't think it's a problem. Like Jonas said, it's all in the manner, like with these kids having options. That's okay. I mean, because if you recruit honest, you spit honest game, you spit the truth to them, then you're gonna have some attrition from year to year.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily see it as a problem from myself going into recruiting. But Jonas hit on another point that I wanted to hit on. It adds another level to recruiting. You look at your roster, you look at your needs, you look at what you plot year to year, 2 years down the line. One thing the transfer portal does is you have to recruit players, because you don't know, if you got a player that's slotted to be there for next year, he might transfer for whatever reason. So, the acquisition of talent is probably one of the things, regardless of position. You just want guys that can play.
Let me ask you guys this. Do you think if they're going to approve this immediate transfer, will they change APR rules?
Well, I would think they have to.
That would, because if you're letting somebody transfer right away, then they got to change. I
don't think the NCAA can legitimately allow, and I get it. Let me back up. I agree with the rule taking place. I don't have an issue with that. But if they're going to still hold coaches to the same standard, the APR, I think, this is just my opinion, I think that has to be adjusted as well.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think, like, with the kids being able to transfer, and not have to get out. And not have to get out. I think that is, how when you planning your recruit, I think the guys coming in and being immediately eligible, that's going to hurt junior college. If you can get kids coming, being available immediately, then instead of going to the junior college route to fill a roster, then you can have players coming that's already at the Division I level that's looking to leave, transferring to your program. So
it's like a good point. That's the
between the being immediately eligible and the portal, which is one and the same. I think if for nothing else, it's going to change how we recruit and how we decide to attack our needs versus best player available.
So I heard Lavelle Moulton say he ranked these. He said this is how the ranking goes now, especially if this passes. He said you're gonna have your grad transfers number 1, your regular transfers number 2, your JUCOs number 3, overseas number 4, prep school number 5, and that's gonna put the high school players number 6 on a college. College coaches list.
I think a little bit differently about that. I don't think grad transfers is going to be as big because you don't have people sitting out. You know, if you're gonna have somebody transfer immediately eligible, you ain't gonna be in college long enough to be a grad transfer. So I don't think it's gonna be some grad transfers still out there, but that's not gonna be the heaviest point of our recruiting. Because if you can transfer from XYZ University to ABC University and not have to sit out, you don't need no grad yet.
That's what I said. The whole allure of the grad transfer is
gonna go away.
Graduate immediately eligible. You can get a guy that's a high thought of freshman that transfers and be available. So would you take a 5th-year grad transfer guy, or would you take a top 100 high school kid after his freshman year? He was immediately in the sophomore year. So, like I said, I agree with Jonas. The grad transfers, like, they're still going to be valuable. Always going to be valuable because experience. The older you get, the more experience you have. That's always positive. But I think being able to transfer, being immediately eligible, kind of diminishes the aura of getting a guy that's been in college as long to become, when he transfers and he's eligible immediately.
For sure. We're going to get a question from the audience. We got Coach Tolbert. You guys think that this will hurt high school kids? I think we're saying no, right? We don't think? Or what do we think?
It's just going to add it. No, I don't think at the end of the day it's not going to hurt. Again, I'll be honest with you. It's going to impact high schools a little bit because a college coach's focus is not just going to be on high school, not just high school kids or some kids that you think that's going to be able to sit out. It's going to open that thing all the way up. It's just going to add another level of recruitment. Now, Jonas Hayes and Jarvis Hayes, I can't speak for other coaches. We're going to do our job. We're going to always know where the high school players are. We're going to always know to connect with the right people like Cabral Huff. But we gonna still do our job. It's just gonna add a whole different degree to our recruiting. It's gonna be more difficult, but I don't think it's gonna be an adverse effect. Now, coronavirus is gonna have an adverse effect on you, but I think when things settle back down, I don't think it's gonna be that big. It's just gonna have more people to recruit.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think it'll necessarily hurt the high school kids, but in today's age, these high school kids, a lot of them like to be recruited, and rightfully so. It's their right to play the long game, and I think where it might hurt the high school kids if once you recruited during the high school season, and if you find a school that you committed to, that you like and you feel like committing to, I think it's going to be a more onus to maybe accept that commitment because once the spring comes and the transfer market opens up, it just starts completely over. So where a high school kid might have a longer time to make a decision ultimately, I think the transfer rule, it might speed that process up. Whereas a high school kid is getting recruited at the level that he wants from the school that he wants, then you'll be
claiming their spots earlier.
You'll be less apt to waiting to see what else is out there if you got a school that you already like and you feel like you could be a fit at.
So right now, my bad, Mondre. Right now, that's even bigger right now. Like for a 2020 kid, even for a 2021 kid. Like what? Keep it to us real. We got parents, we got players who listen to this. Let's be real with them. Me, Bryce, and Dre have tried to tell them, but what can you tell that 2020 kid or parent, or that 2021 kid or parent regarding recruitment right now?
Well, let me say this. I'm gonna go back to when we was in high school and my dad was kind of helping us with our recruitment. Like if you find a school that you can see yourself playing at, you like the coaching staff, you like the players, you like your fit within that team. If you like it and everything and all of your boxes have been checked, I would be more inclined to tell that player to what else are you looking for?
Yes. I was just getting ready to say the same thing. You got to be very, very careful about trying to cast a wide net because it's not going to be a lot of people because there's going to be a lot of mistakes being made in this recruitment. You only looking at them over the film. But there's some kids, if you got a relationship that you've had if you got a relationship with a staff or you are familiar with the school, you don't want to cast too wide of a net. All these spots getting ready to start getting snapped up. And for me, if you got a high school coach like yourself, that the way they structure their September workouts, that is possibly as good as, because there's going to be a lot more onus going to be put right back on the high school coaches because there ain't going to be no summer. And so the only people they're gonna come back to and they're gonna trust is your high school coaches. So it's gonna be a challenge and a chore that you're gonna have to put on these high school coaches. Hey, listen, you're getting ready to earn your paycheck right now because a lot of these kids gonna depend on you and how you.
Yes, sir.
Dre wanted this. He wanted to hear that.
Hey, that's what we waiting to hear.
Smoke.
No,
Yes, sir.
that's what it's gonna be because they ain't gonna have another opportunity when
Right.
you got the September workout. September 9th rolled around. Hopefully, knock on some wood, we're able to get back out on the road recruiting. That's a lot of times the only eval we're gonna be able to get out of a kid.
Yep.
And so that's as a college coach, that's gonna be vitally important to get a accurate. Now, so I can be familiar with the kid from his junior season, but you got a senior. Okay, so I got to get another eval. We couldn't see him in April. We couldn't see him in June. Could not see him in July.
Yeah.
So the last time I saw this kid was January, and the next time I'm gonna see him is September.
It's extremely hard to evaluate on film. And like I say, like back in the old days, like my dad would say, Jonas, you shucking corn there, buddy. Because like when you say, like we know September workouts come, if we as college coaches aren't able to see guys in the summer, and once kids able to, hopefully they're able to go back to the school and being able to, start class like normal, knocking on wood. Hopefully that's what it is. Those September workouts that Coach Hayes was just talking about are extremely important. You're gonna have coaches flocking to the gyms trying to get an up close look, because I've looked at hundreds of hours of film. And I was telling this to a couple of guys a few days ago. It's like, for me, just the way my eyes are wired and my lenses are wired, like typically when you watch a player in person, for me, it'd take at least 3 to 4 games live to see, whether this player is good enough or whatnot. When you're watching a film, it can take 10 to 15, 20 games of watching different things to see if it's a guy can play. So the recruitment is excuse my language, it's a hell of a lot more condensed. It's like it's more broader. So once that September period open and we can get back out to these schools, and man, we're gonna have notepad in hand, seeing if the film, whatever it is, the film can match up with the what we see live.
Hey man, we listen. This is something that we talked about for a long time in anticipation of this rule change, right? What I kept saying to Huff was, Huff, you got to understand, everybody's not you.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's not Bryce.
Yeah.
Bryce coach AAU.
Yeah.
So when he walked on as that high school assistant, he know the game.
That's right.
He know how this works. He also has those connections from being in the gym in the summertime, coaching AAU 17s, that he got a Rolodex of coaches that he can call.
Right. That's
and
an advantage.
Get them in the gym in September. Yep. What I was trying to tell Huff was, hey, Huff, everybody can't get a coach in the gym in September.
So what's also going to hurt that these kids not going to have, like, especially for Georgia, how big, I'm going to just throw out a name, Sean Williams, how big those events are, and not being able to have that type of event for somebody who's centered around the state of Georgia to get out a report, hey, Sean, it's a kid down in, Lawrence County that somebody need to go see. That those rural county kids, those guys are going to be kind of, and not in a bad situation, but they're going to kind of be in a precarious situation because those events like he puts on, it does a lot more than just for the city of Atlanta kid. Yeah. And so that's what I feel for kids like that in rural Georgia. It's going to impact them, and it can still happen for them. But that's just a negative impact of what our society is going through.
But it just goes back to what you said just a minute ago. Like right now, it's going to put a lot of onuses on the high school coaches to create that momentum, create that attention that these kids need, right? And like with the opportunities they have throughout the summer to showcase their skills. And like I say, not all AAU programs are built the same. You have some there's a little bit more structured than others and whatnot. But for the most part, it's an opportunity for kids to be seen, right? Mm-hmm. And with that part of it taken away, like Jonas just said a minute ago, it's going to put a lot of the onus on the high school coach to create that, sending emails, sending films. Like, if you guys don't think we look at film, I look at every email that comes through me. I'm saying this live. Every email that comes for me, you have to unturn every stone these days. So, like, guys, don't be afraid to send emails. Don't be afraid to send videotapes to emails, because we do look at it.
we operate almost circa like it's 1990. You know, when the AAU scene hadn't exploded. All right, so this is how it was, and you had the travel teams, but it was nowhere near to the level it is now. And so it's kind of going back just for a short period of time. And I think it's going to be good for the game where a lot of guys, you know, they're going to be rolling through the high school because you just can't go through Spartanburg or Augusta. You can't go to Cartersville like typically we have and just gorge on talent all at one time. The relationships that people have around that state is going to be huge, especially in the day and time.
But here's something that I think you guys also need to touch on now. They can't send you a kid that can't play for you now, because then that's gonna ruin that high school coach's rep with you.
Yeah, but you always gotta, you know, like you and I, we got a relationship. We always operate in truth.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to. If you try to send me a kid, okay, you try to send me a kid. Hey, Huff, I like him. You know, I think he needs to work on this. I'm not going to lead you down the wrong path to give the wrong message to that kid. Because at the end of the day, that kid I don't want him to bark up my tree and knowing it ain't going to yield no fruit. It's a lot of trees that he going to be able to run up that got a legitimate opportunity to get them. And so I'm being fair to you and being fair to that kid and trying to preserve that relationship I got with you, but also being fair to that kid. Yeah. And so I don't think I've ever come into that problem because I've always tried to be honest with you.
All you got is the relationships you build.
Yeah.
See, and relationships, that's the point, a great point that we were trying to talk about. Like, it was a lot of coaches that sat back, and although they pointed fingers at AAU guys, they were dependent on AAU guys.
AAU is necessary. Yeah. It has done so much good for the game, and you got so many people that are in it for the right reasons in the state of Georgia. It is necessary, man. And I would like to see more of a alliance between two because it is necessary. Because I don't think the exposure those guys can get holistically, you know, in the April eval period, now in the June periods and the July eval period, that is enormous. Yeah. It's only a handful of high school teams in the country that can give that type of exposure, but you give a whole lot more access to exposure to a whole lot more kids through the AAU system. I think it's unbelievable. It's great. I think it's great for the game.
No doubt about it.
Great.
So you, if I'm listening to you guys, and this is where, like we say, if we don't have a summer, it hurts.
Yep.
I guess it was so beneficial for you guys when in June you got to see that kid play for his high school team.
Yep.
And then in July you got to see that kid play for his AAU team.
Yep.
How beneficial was that for you guys last summer?
Let me answer that. So you get to see them in different type of settings. When you get the high school setting, it's because they've been together a whole lot longer. So you take your team is together every day. They practice every single day. So you get to see them in a structured situation that's akin to what they're going to be in college at the collegiate level. Well, so on the flip side, you get together on AAU teams, but you get these super talented teams. You playing with super talented teams. How can you play with? Because when they get to college, they're not going to be the best player on the team a lot of the times. So how can you play against other elite with elite other talent? And how do you perform playing against them? So we see them in a structured situation where they're the best guy on the team. A lot of times they called upon to be leaders, called upon to be vocal leaders, emotional leaders. But then when you get them with other guys that are their athletic peers, how do they respond? How do they respond from going from playing maybe 28 minutes at Holy Innocent to playing 18 minutes with, XYZ AAU team? How do they handle that? Is it all about winning or is it all about them? Because when you're AAU team, your needs and your responsibility, your role may change than when you're playing for a high school team. How do you navigate that?
I like to use the term comfortable versus uncomfortable. In the high school, with their high school team, it's a level of being comfortable. You with a coach, like Jonas said, you coaches that you're comfortable with, your teammates which you're comfortable with, your role on the team which you are comfortable with. And on the flip side, like I say, you play on these AAU teams that are super talented. It gives us another view of these guys from how do they handle adversity? How do you handle what your role was on your high school team if you as a talent evaluator, if you've seen the kid at his high school team and then you see the kid with his summer team, and his role is different. How do you handle that? How do you pick up the pieces? How do you go from being the man on your AAU team, on your high school team, to playing a role on your summer AAU squad? So for me, that's big, because most of the time when college coaches come to games, we already know you can play. So we looking at the other parts of your game, because if we sitting in the gym, if it's coaches in the gym, we're not coming to see you score 30, only 30 points or whatever it is.
Oh, you talking about it now?
Yeah.
We're trying to put the pieces together. So like when we see you in certain settings, we look at how you are on the bench, how you look at how you treat your teammates, how your body language, how you receptive to your coaching and the coaches speaking stuff to you. So those are things that when I look at players in their different settings, I like to use being comfortable versus uncomfortable and how they handle that.
Oh man, that's
getting into it.
hey kids, I'm telling you, bro. The replay value, hey, bro. We getting with it.
Madre, I think we
real
talked about kids. I think we talked about kids since we started this podcast about thinking they had to go for 30 and 28 every outing and things like that. And we've been.
I just want
they don't
parents.
Have to do that.
I want parents to understand that gem that he just dropped, bro.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Your kid don't have to get 30. They didn't these college coaches ain't coming to see him get 30. Because when you come on campus, you ain't getting 30.
Like, you're not doing it.
Oh man. Hey, that's one of the greatest things that ever been said on this show, bro. Like parent, man, I just want parent. I'm imagining some kid showing this to their parent, like, see, leave me alone. That car ride home is crazy.
And man, that car ride home can make or break a team. It can make or break a team. Yeah. Like you could be in that locker room and everything is good. And they get in that car and mom and dad said, why you didn't take that many? Why you only took 10 shots tonight?
Right.
Hey.
And now the next practice.
Madre, you know that's why I take my jerseys up after every single game.
There you go.
Hey.
I think Jonas told me this, and I think I might have heard it from, I forgot who Jonas said he mentioned it from, but like when you look at the pieces of a game, right? And you ever heard of someone says you got to do the little things. You got to do the little things to win the game.
Said this.
If you understand that the little things are that important, you understand that there is no such thing as a little thing.
So this is what he said. This is what Coach Fox, you say all the time now, guys. Once you understand the importance of the little things, you then understand there's no such thing as a little thing. You know, and I look at this now. If you're going to make anything matter, everything has to matter. And it's paying attention to detail and all, but no, Jarvis, you hit the nail on the head.
You know, so it just goes more like, you know, a lot of, you know, and you see more of this when teams get together or prospects get together with their summer teams and the AAU team, they feel the pressure to score.
Yeah.
Right.
And I understand, I get it. I played, I understand that pressure, but you can't put your pressure to score to think that's what's going to, you know, allow like talent evaluators to look at you in a positive light. If that's because if I come and watch you score, unless you're scoring at an elite,
let me time out. Give me a 30-second time out. If you're gonna be a one-trick pony,
you better be a Kevin Durant,
anybody else in the universe.
You better be the elite of the elite. You know, and a lot of things that goes into that. You know, like you look at projections, because I feel like I'm a pretty good projection of guys when you look at, you know, their size, their skill, and you look at the attributes, and like a guy that necessarily can average 30 in high school doesn't necessarily translate to the next level. Those are the guys that's being recruited not only as a scorer. If you got a 5'10" point guard that can score 30, that might necessarily can't score 30 at the next level, then you're evaluating this point guard skills, his true point guard skills, running the offense, being coachable, being a coach on the floor. And you know, so a lot of the things, you know, you can kind of depressure yourselves by not worrying about scoring and kind of just playing your role. Like play your role. Like
so a lot of people get role twisted too now. A lot of people think, well, I'm gonna do what I do. That's what I'm gonna bring to the table. That's my role. No. That ain't your role. Your role is what your coach determines. What this team,
Your role.
your role. Your role ain't. You think you want to sit out and shoot threes? That's what I want to do. That's going to be my role. No. If your role is that this team needs you to be a lockdown defender, okay, that is your role. All right, let's get that twisted. If you're all about winning, if you're all about the team, you know. A part about being one of the greatest things about being a part of the team, you got to give just a little bit of yourself, personal sacrifice for the good of the group. And so the truly great teams, you got your point guard. Okay, so hell, I want to average 31 minutes, but you know what? I got another dude that's sitting there that's just as probably as good as me. How am I have to give up 7 or 8 minutes of my own personal time for the good of the team? I may not be able to score 29 points tonight, and I'm gonna only shoot 10 times. Not And so that's what a lot of kids get their roles screwed up because they don't. Well, I think I can do this. Let me bring this to the table. No, that ain't your role, young fella. Your role is this is what you can do. What I'm asking you to do really, really well. We need you to bring that to the table. John would say, do not spend so much time on things that you're not good at. You forget what the hell you're good at. Right, bring that to the table while working on your weaknesses. I don't have time to sit around here and watch. You want to be a good 3-point shooter? I'm working on it. Your ass ain't shooting 10 threes a game. I don't got time for you to work on your game in a game. No,
that's what I was just about to say. A lot of guys get it twisted when your role is what it is. A lot of guys get it twisted when you put them in a certain role that they necessarily don't want to be in. Like, we're not saying you can't do what it is that you think you could do. We just have someone better for that role.
Yeah.
So if you worry about what the role that I'm asking you to be in and be as good as you can be in that role, then hell, I look at it from the standpoint, like, as the coach, if you're busting your ass, excuse my language, if you're busting your ass doing the role that you're doing that I'm asking you to be in, then yeah, I'll let you stay out there a little bit longer to maybe hoist up a three when you're not great at it.
That's how you get roped.
If you mastering what it is that I'm asking you, then your rope gets longer. I don't care what it is that you think you ought to do as a player. If you're not doing what I'm asking you to do first, whether if you agree with it or not, then you're not going to play. I tell guys all the time, the best thing about being like a player is being coachable. And for me, coachability is not whether if you understand, because I don't expect a kid to understand what I'm telling them at 38 years old versus 18, 19, or 19 to 22-year-old. The only thing I ask is you listen to what I'm saying and apply it. The understanding will come later. Just listen and apply. I'm okay if you don't understand it, but just listen and apply what it is that I'm telling you.
I got another nugget. You guys have heard this probably before. Uncoachable kids, they grow up to be unemployable adults. All right. And so a lot of people don't understand that. Everybody got somebody to listen to. All right. Unless you making $200 million. And if you do it, I don't have a hat, but I'm tipping my hat to you. But if you are uncoachable right now at 17, 16, 15, 19 years old, when you're 35, 36, you cannot be employed. Can I get a 30-second?
30 seconds.
Hey, Bryce, the Redskins just took Chase Young.
Hey, HTPR, baby. We
don't trade them. Hopefully they can put something together, put a package together, and send them all to Atlanta. We need them. Redskins, listen, the Redskins probably about 4 or 5 years away. The Falcons ready now, baby.
You are right about that. We got a long way to go, but look, we got a coach. We hopefully got a quarterback, and now we got.
We got a coach. Y'all got a coach.
We got a coach.
That's when you know they bad. We got a coach.
Y'all got somebody on payroll, or you got somebody you believe in?
I believe in Rivera.
Daniel Snyder was the coach.
We got a coach. I don't know about Daniel Snyder, but we got a coach. So we'll see.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about that. I'm gonna take Bryce and Dre back a little bit. To your guys' days at Douglas High School, and this past year, your head coach he retired, but they named the floor after him at Kennesaw Mountain. Talk a little bit about a legend that a lot of people in Georgia don't understand, and Jesse Bonner.
Jesse Bonner.
Let me tell you something. For me,
I'll follow up with this too because I got something else.
All right.
He invented what it was to be loved on, tough love. I take you back to I think it was our senior year. We was at Pepperbrook in their Thanksgiving Classic, and I don't know. My brother and I, we had already signed, but we, of course, we were high profile. Everybody know who Jarvis was, and I did my little part behind the scenes. But
you have it 25 and 13, son.
So for whatever reason, I kind of got beside myself when I forgot who we were playing. When I tell you that man drugged me, and I think I was getting ready to get into a fight with somebody. He drugged me, got me by my collar. I'm 6'7" or so. And drug my ass out the hallway into a stairwell. I thought I was getting ready to die. And another thing, we could be closely in a huddle, and we was not executing like we want. He'll get real close to you, and he'll jab you right in your doggone chest, knock the doggone wind out of you so quick. Yeah. But you know what? We did not take that. We didn't take it personally because we knew he cared about us. And every single day, he broke down the barrier of just being Coach Bonner. Oh, that's just the basketball coach at Doug. Well, we trusted him, man. And so and the difference is our parents gave him a license to coach as hard as he needed to coach. You know what I'm saying? Our mom and dad, everybody on our team, our parents gave Coach Bonner the license to coach us as hard as he needed to. You know,
and the thing that changed my life when it came to Coach Bonner was, I think it was our senior year. We made a loss a couple of games in a row, and Jonas and I, we normally were pretty even keeled kids, and we was obviously the leaders of the team. And one day, Jonas and I, after this, I think it was a tough stretch that we went through. Coach wouldn't let us practice in the main gym. We had to go to the auxiliary gym. And Jonas and I were just stinking up the place. I mean, we were stinking up the joint in practice. I want you to understand this. I want you to understand this changed my life from the point of leadership and how that transcends through the rest of the teams, because the roles that Jonas and I had in high school, we had a responsibility to everybody else on that team to lead them, whether we were vocal leaders or not. So Coach Bonner stopped practice. We was having a terrible practice. And he stopped practice and he lambasted, like completely cursed Jonas and I out in front of the whole team and was like, how can you guys how can you guys act like this? How can you guys do this? You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Now he was using choice words now. Right. You guys got to be better than that. If the rest of these guys see you guys acting like this, they're gonna do it. They're gonna follow. So you guys got to be better. If you want us to be better, you guys got to be better. And from that point forward, that changed the whole dynamics of that team. And we went on and we got upset in the Final Four, but we made a Final Four run. And that and I tell a lot of kids today, a lot of kids get the term leadership confused with being cursing somebody out and making them be better. The best type of leadership that you can have is being a leader by showing. You have to first, whatever you want of your teammates, whatever you want from any other individuals that you come across with, you first have to be that. You got to be the change you want to see. Be the change that you want in other people. And for me, that's because that gives you then the license. Because if you are practicing what you preach, then that gives you the license to maybe get on a teammate when he's dogging it. But I can't get on Jonas if he's dogging it if I'm dogging it.
Yeah,
man,
100%.
I remember.
100%.
So I had moved here from DC, and this is probably 06 maybe. And I swear Coach Bonner set me up, man. I swear. So like, I remember we had a practice one time at Kennesaw Mountain, and Jarvis and Jonas showed up, right? And you guys may not even remember this, but this is how I knew, like, I probably need to just go the coaching route or do something else. I'm like in high school, I'm like the most arrogant kid. Like, you can't guard me. You can't do nothing with it. There's nothing you can do.
I know what you're about to say. Go ahead.
Nothing. So, and I feel like Coach Bonner knew I was like that when I moved down here. So Jarvis and Jonas came to practice one time, and somehow I got thrown into the fire to play one-on-one.
Yeah,
let me tell you something. Why
they do you like it, Bryce?
Yo, this was the only time I've never gotten a bucket in my entire life. I'm rolling the ball out and I'm just like miserable. I'm like, how y'all gonna do me like this? I'm in 12th grade. You know what I mean? I did not score. I didn't touch the ball. It was ugly. I'm like, yo, I'm done.
I remember that. I remember that. I certainly remember
that day, that moment. I'm like, the league might not be for me. It might not be for me. I don't think I can do it. I can't do it.
Oh man,
that's what's up, baby. That's what's up. I think I remember that.
Hey, Bryce, look at all the kids that benefited because of it, dog.
Right.
And that's kind of the thing. It's like when I I'm talking to some of these kids, I try to reach them in a different way because I know how I was, and I know that like sometimes that attitude doesn't work for you. You got to work harder. Like we've been saying this whole time. Like you constantly got to work harder. You got to be a team player. You got to be coachable. And for me, like I knew I was better than everybody else, but there were certain things that I didn't bring to the table. Yeah. So now it's like I can see it. It's like you got to do this, man. It's not gonna work for you.
Yeah.
So, but that one day, like I'm like, man, it was probably 10-0.
Like, easily. He used to have us practice with you guys too.
Yeah,
with you guys. Yeah, I remember.
And so you go from Douglas, and then a lot of people just remember UGA. They don't remember the 1 year stopgap. You go from inner city guys in Atlanta, Georgia, to the mountains of Western Carolina.
Yeah, and you know what, Cabral? I think our time in Cullowhee, it was unbelievably good. We would have graduated from there had the coaches gotten fired. And so how we got there, a lot of people don't realize how we got there. All the Northeastern schools, Villanova, Georgetown was recruiting my brother. A lot of people, they misevaluated me because they didn't think I was going to turn out to be the player that I turned out to be. So the only major school that was recruiting me was Clemson. For some odd reason, Clemson didn't want to recruit a top 20, 30 player in the country. I say, listen here, bro. Listen, you offered me a scholarship player, but you didn't. Okay, listen, I come, but I want to go to school with the dude right here. Okay. And they were not offering him a scholarship. So the only three schools that was offering us a scholarship together, Western Carolina, Jacksonville State with Mark Turgeon, and Mercer with Mark Schlonaker. And we decided to go to Western Carolina because I think that it was just a fit for us. But we would have stayed there because we enjoyed going to Bob's Corner Market, get those hot pockets. We played our big girls played hide and go seek with, around the damn library.
With snow top mountains.
Right.
But you know what? Those people love basketball up there, man. Mm-hmm. They love basketball, and so the only reason we left. And the thing is, our steps was already ordered because. Had our coaches not gotten fired, we would never have the opportunity to go back to the University of Georgia, and that was all she wrote then. And believe it or not, we was anticipating staying, but we got an opportunity to go to the University of Georgia, coming back home, and that was something I thought was too good to pass up. And so that's how we ended up there. A lot of people don't know we were even at Western Carolina.
I know.
And like I said, the hindsight to that is like getting back to what we talked about earlier. When we talked about the recruiting process. And my father played a very, very big role in that. And he was right. Like he was like, once you find a program, because Jonas and I, we said, okay, well, we could, because we committed and we signed early. Mm-hmm. So we signed in November before our senior season started. We went on 2 official visits. Yeah, we was already committed and signed. We only went on 2 official visits. We went to Jacksonville State and Western Carolina. That was it. So once we found the connection with Western Carolina and Phil Hopkins, it was, we come back and, as a kid, you're like, man, let's wait. Let's see what we can do. My dad was like, oh, hell no. Listen, these people guaranteeing you guys a free education. No, like who says you might get hurt? Like I say, I was playing the game because, like I say, Georgetown and UConn, they were sniffing around with me. And I remember Coach Bonner bringing me into his office. And like he was hinting to me that UConn and Georgetown might, because they never offered, but they wanted me separately. And he asked me, it was just he and I in his office, and he was like, "Are you sure you want to go to school with Jonas? Because UConn and Georgetown, they I think they might want to offer." I didn't even entertain it. It was a 10-second conversation. I was like, "No, if they don't want to recruit Jonas, give Jonas an honest opportunity, then the hell with it." So. like when you truly make decisions, and these for any kids out there who's wondering and torn between making decisions from one spot to the other, like, and I use this analogy, like the mind is, you can trick your mind. Like magic fools people. The magic tricks fool people for a reason. So your mind can be fooled. So you can be thinking one thing, but you can't fool your heart and your gut. So if you ever had to decide between making a decision from your mind and what you think is a great place over what you feel in your heart and your gut, you can never go wrong with going the way of your heart and your gut. You know, and that's how it happened with Jonas and I, because in our heart and in our gut, we wanted to go to school together. So who says if I would have turned down or shied away from my gut and our gut wanting to go to school together and wanted to get recruited by other people, who knows how that would have turned out?
And see, but a lot of people.
Let me finish this point. Hold on, let me finish this point. Because once we got to Western Carolina, we didn't look at it as like we took a step down. We didn't look at it as like we settled on Western Carolina. We went to the school that met what we wanted, to go to school together. And that wasn't a step down. That was better than any other option we had out there.
And saying the thing is, people they want to get to the end of the story instead of focusing on what they got to do today. And so if somebody would have said, well, Jarvis, you want to go to the NBA? Shit, you got to try to find a way to get. No. I'm going to handle today. You know, God has already ordered my steps, and I'm just going to keep having enough faith, just keep one foot in front of another. And things happen for a reason, man. And if we would have tried to solve the puzzle at the beginning of our step, it wouldn't have turned out like we did. You know what I'm saying? So you have to handle each day. The day that you're given, make that your masterpiece.
Every day is
to get to the end of your journey, because it's a journey that you're gonna remember more than a destination, anyways. You know.
And speaking on that, and and that's another thing. Like you get kids, and I hate to get long-winded, but I'm passionate when they tell me, because you know, like I say, like I'm in the coaching profession, guys. I am, but the number one job as a coach is to take an 18-year-old kid and promise their family that you're going to make a man when they get out.
100%.
A lot of kids get too caught up in what the definition of success is. And for me, the definition of success, because everybody wants to play in the league, guys. Like, that's an amazing goal to have, right? Everybody wants to play there. But too many guys get the definition of success, in my opinion, confused. Like, the definition of success for me isn't whether if you reach that ultimate goal, there's the commitment to the process along the way. Because if you could commit to a process that at the end of the road, there's no guarantee that you're gonna get what your ultimate goal is, then you're gonna catch greatness. And being committed to that, being passionate to that commitment, for one, your work ethic can't be tied to the results of what you say you want.
Talk about it, bro.
Your results have to be tied to the process you put in each and every day to reach that goal, knowing that you may not get there, right? Because if you can commit yourself to the process it takes to get there, if that doesn't work out, you know the steps to success to wherever you want to go. If basketball or if athletics isn't what you want to do, committing yourself to that process supersedes sports, in my opinion. And for me, guys, that's success.
100%.
Wow.
You've learned how to work hard.
Wow.
You taught yourself how to work hard. Man, that's tremendous, man.
But you can apply it to every area of your life too, though. You can apply that to every area of your life.
So guys, I want to talk about number one. Let's get this on record. So we saying that you shouldn't just go to the biggest name school that offers you. You shouldn't just go to your highest offer. That's not your best offer. You mean to tell me other stuff matters?
Yeah. Man, I can talk about this today, man. How long did this take?
That's a lot of truth right there, man. And we got big time kids in the building. Robert Cowher, what's up, boy? I love your game, bro. Love your game, dog.
That's a good question. That's a great question.
Certified killer.
It's not like I'm finna answer Robert's question if y'all don't mind.
I need to answer that too. Go ahead.
Go ahead, but I'll leave it up as long as y'all need. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea to entertain 20 or 30 offers, but when you really get down to the nuts and bolts of what you want, you know what schools that are. You know what schools already that offer that will give you that opportunity. So from a standpoint of taking control of your recruitment, instead of the recruitment taking control of your options.
Exactly right. That's exactly right.
When you know what you want and you can listen to as many guys as you want to listen to, but it's very few of them that are going to give you the connection that you need.
And so a lot of people miss their blessing because when they have something that they got in their grasp, they get so confused by listening at so many different options where you kind of lose and forget what's important to you.
Ooh, Jonas, let me tell you something. You just put something on my heart. A lot of people miss the blessing of God because it don't come wrapped up in the package they thought it should look like.
Yeah. Woo. And you know what I'm saying? So you don't want to get confused by so many options. God has already given you enough talent, but you can be able to pick and choose. You can't go to 30 different spots anyway. So you just listen to people. And a lot of times these coaches, they sound alike. We all sound alike. You got to find the people that you can build the greatest relationship with, because the people is end up going to make the place. All right. That's right. Find the people that's intentional to you. All right. And don't get confused. All right. Because at the end of the day, he who has the goal, you know, that is their process. And say, in this whole deal, you the gold piece. So you make the rules. That's the golden rule. He who makes the goal, you know, they make the rules. So you know, so you don't have to go by anybody else's timeline. You don't have to just, okay, I just want to put on my Instagram account. I want to put on my Twitter account. I got 100 offers. What good is that going to do you?
Right.
What confusion.
So like I said, to get back to the initial question, it's never, I don't think it's a bad idea. Like, I think you ought to explore as many options as you want to get a clear understanding of what you want as a player. But be mighty careful of letting that recruiting process
eat you up,
and people putting their own opinions on what you should do. And if it doesn't match up with what you want, then it can get kind of a situation where you're torn from what you want to do as opposed to what you should do and are getting advised to do.
Guys, I got another question about recruiting now. I need to know how much do you feel like kids know about college basketball when you recruit them? Like the schools, like do kids, because you're saying like a kid, like you gotta know what it is that you want.
That's right.
Kids really, do you feel like get a feel that kids know and understand what they want, or they see certain names and be like, I think I want that?
I think they know what they want. I don't think they know what it sounds like when you're being recruited. Like, because what you want before someone can tell you what they're offering, you know, a lot of kids get enamored with the best facilities, and that matters. Don't get me twisted. Let
me give me 30 seconds. I disagree with you. I think kids know what they want. I think they know what it sounds like, but I think it's a popularity contest. Some people, they getting it twisted because they want to just see how many offers they're going to accumulate. They know at the end of the day where they're going.
That's where I was going.
And so they trying to see, okay, they want. I get it, and I understand the brand piece. You building your brand, you building your following. But at the end of the day, when you got something as precious as your life that's getting ready to get impacted for the next 40 years, you're going to live till you're 75 years old. That's the life expectancy for a man that's born in these times. If you go to the NBA like you did, Jarvis, and you have an unbelievable career, you're going to be done by the time you're 35 years old. So you got, and in this day and age, if you don't make $100 million, you're going to work until you're 70 years old. So you got 35 working years left to go that you got to account for. That is important. And instead of making this, you figure out they know what they want, they know what it sounds like, but just stay focused. You got to have people in your corner, people on your circle, people that's sitting at that table that can keep you kind of focused. It's not about who can garner the most offers, who can get the biggest school with the brightest lights to come. It's not about that. They get confused. I think they know what they want. I think they know what they're looking for.
No, that's what I was saying. I was going on the same lines. I think they know what they want, but I think with in today's society, and when you start going to these campuses and they get wild about what they see, some kids can let that kind of sway what they think they want and what they think they need. So when you ask the question, do kids know what they want? I'm 100% kids know what they want. I don't think they know what it looks like when it's being presented to them. Yeah. You know, and like I say, because you know, like getting back. I hate to get back to Robert's question, but you know, that's the 20 to 30 offers. Everybody loves to be wanted, right? So once you're wanted, once you get to that point where you receive the attention that you want to receive, how do you then start to cipher through what it is? Because like Coach Hay just said,
a lot of times colleges will eliminate themselves because they'll give an offer just for initiation, and you want to hear from them again. And you got 30 guys, you got 30 teams that say they offer you, but how many of them are committable? You don't have 3 or 4 of them that are committable. And if you got 3 or 4 teams that you think you commit to, you ain't considering 30 schools, brother. You considering 3 or 4. That's what you consider.
Yes, sir. Oh, we got so much meat up in here, dog. Hey, I got questions on questions on questions. Let's go first. Now, these kids are dealing with something that we didn't have to grow up with. Them likes on Instagram is enticing, Coach. Coach, tell me how you think y'all recruiting would have changed had social media been what it is today when y'all was coming through.
I'm putting it like this. Number one, go ahead.
I think, you know, like kids doing the same thing. They do the same thing every generation. Like, you know, kids do kids things. We didn't have the luxury of Instagram to be able to broadcast it every single day. So the kids today are very much like the kids, you know, with you know, Jonas and I, Huff and Bryce, we all grew up in. I think the difference is the access to mainstream wasn't there.
And you know what? I think it is it's a very good positive thing to me. Because I think we're about giving you guys the platform to build their brand. And a lot of guys don't understand the importance of what social media. And I'm just go ahead and say this, as a lot of times young black men and women are stereotyped in a certain way. What better way to use a social media platform to create their own message? How you want people to see you. You don't have to, what people gonna always say what they're gonna say about you till you are 6 feet under. All right. You can use Facebook. They don't use Facebook no more. You can use Twitter. You can use all that to build your brand. What is the image you want to create for yourself? I think it's a great thing.
Dre, put that comment up on the screen right there. The last one, T Hillier 8. Now, like as far as recruiting go, do you follow a kid's social media to get an idea of who he is as a person? Now, I'm gonna try to get as close as I can to this character. I am going to guarantee you this: if it's one thing that we do in this recruiting process,
I get close to it too.
Especially now when we can't go out and see you personally on the court, we're going to follow your social media. So if you don't, like I said, we've been on almost 58 minutes now. If you don't believe nothing else I say for the rest of the night.
Hey, so let me ask this question, Coach. Will you follow somebody's social media account from a burner account so they don't know it's you?
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. No,
that would be the first thing I'd do if I was a college coach. I'm getting a burner Twitter so I can follow every kid. I have a pretty girl on her. You gonna talk to me?
I want to see how bold somebody is. You know, you got adults. You know, you got college coaches following you. What are the stuff you putting on there? Yeah. Does it matter that you know somebody's watching you, or you just don't care? You don't have no kind of regard for the image you want to create, even though you got adults and you got college coaches and God knows who else is following you. What are some of the things you putting out? Because you opening up your whole life to Instagram and Twitter. What do you want people to see?
But at the same time, like I've had coaches call me about kids, and I think they're almost to the point where they kind of think a kid is weird if he doesn't have social media, or if he doesn't have Instagram, or if he doesn't text that much. Like it's almost like they're like, well, why doesn't he do that stuff? I mean, I don't think it's weird.
Hold on. It's weird in the fact that you're in the minority when you got a kid like that. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing just from a coach.
No, that's what I'm saying. From a coach standpoint,
no. I don't think that's a bad thing.
For a kid to in today's world, for a kid not to have social media, like for me, I think that's a positive.
Keep that one up from David Jones,
because you doesn't seem to come off as like you were just keeping up with the Joneses. This is a good question.
Yeah, so for me, I think just a little bit of who I am. I'm always trying to treat people right, create great relationships, maintain a great relationship. I think it's a big time respect even if a kid does not choose
another school. Yes.
Yeah, even if a kid doesn't choose your school, I like the gesture to just say, you know what, we're going another way. Even when I lose out a kid as I'm recruiting, I call the coach who actually get the kid. Hey, listen, man, that's a great kid. You worked your ass off. I really do. I congratulate you. I did it for a kid that stayed down south for school, and that's just how I operate, man. I just like to treat people right because at the end of the day, I do believe society is a boomerang. All right. And whatever energy that you throw out, whatever energy that you're seeking is also seeking you. So I'm always intentional on how I try to treat people because I know it's going to come back to me some way or form. But yeah, David, I like that. I think that's a good gesture.
Yeah, no, I think that's a no-brainer. You know, and speaking on that matter, and then we talked about this earlier about, you know, treating people right. And Jones, you just mentioned it, like the karma that you create is ultimately the karma that's going to return to you. And like throughout this whole process and your interaction with people, you forget a lot of things that people say. Like,
I know it. I know
when you're recruiting people, I'm pretty sure guys forget what I say. I forget what a lot of guys said to me when I was being recruited. But like I said, I go back to my dad, James Hayes. Like people might forget what you say, you might forget their name, you might forget what they look like, but people never forget how you made them feel. So because that's everlasting, like the compassion that you're showing for kids, like when you're going throughout this process, even if it takes complete humility, grace to call a coach that you committed to. It takes just as much grace and humility, if not more, to call the coach that you didn't commit to tell him that you chose another school, just to say thank you, because it's a privilege. All you guys are a privilege. This is not a right to play the game of basketball. This is a privilege that you guys need to treat with the utmost respect, because we're 1 second away from never playing the game again. We're one move away from never playing. So always appreciate the game, because if you appreciate and love the game, whether if you play it professionally or not as a career, the game will repay you.
Hey, let's get a quick timeout, fellas. We are at the 1 hour and roughly 2 minute mark. Man, y'all want to try to help some kids real quick? Be Will, Huff.
Man, let's help them.
Some highlights. Talk about some kids.
Let's go.
Who wants to go first?
Let's try to help some kids real quick. This is the part of our show where we always try to highlight and talk about 2020 kids that due to COVID are available. They're all qualifiers. There are kids that are looking for a new home that were depending on this live period that we would have had this past weekend and this coming weekend to play in. So, yeah, who's going first, man? You want to Huff? You sent me yours early, bro.
I did.
You want to go first?
Yeah, let's go. Who you want up first? Who you want up first?
Just call out the name, Huff, and I'm gonna find it. I got yours downloaded.
Let's go. Javion Brown, Hiram High School.
Javion Brown, I got him. Hold on. I'm getting good at this now, man.
I'm gonna start sending you mine too.
Yeah, man. Hey, bro, I'm telling you, I'm getting all right, bro.
I know my role, Bryce. I'm not good with that. I know my role, man.
All you gotta do is that share screen on the bottom.
Yeah, man. I'm starting to, you know what I'm saying, point guard, bro. Hold on real quick. Let me move the ball real quick. All right, go ahead, Huff. You see it?
Oh, man. So you're talking about a 6'3" guard here who can really shoot the ball, but he plays aggressively. Hiram had, a couple of good years, under Coach Kenyon Boyd. So you can see the kid right here. He makes shots. I mean, we talk about what do kids do well. This is a kid that makes shots. Don't really know what he has going on, but definitely a kid that can play.
So much talent, man, in the state, bro. Shout out to Keon Brown over there at Boyd. I mean, over there at Hiram too, man. Had a good run this year.
He did.
Great run.
I mean, I think they won the region championship, if I'm not mistaken.
They did. Corner three. Gotta love it. Missed it. Hey, those
deep
tip
three.
Out,
tip out threes, man. They're hard to guard, man. Hard to guard.
Tough.
like I said, kid is a definite bona fide shooter, man. Made the right basketball play right there.
For sure. Good kid available. Make sure y'all go check out, get in touch with Coach Boyd. Running a great program over there at Hiram, man. Good kids. Work hard, teaching them how to be winners, man. Good coach.
Yeah.
Oh, Coach Boyd in here. What's up, bro? Look at that. I didn't know we were being highlighted, man. Coach, hey, man, you never know. Coach got to watch every week.
What's going on, boy?
Appreciate you watching, man.
For sure. Never know. We pull out on you. Who you want next, Huff?
Oh, man, I got to give my guy Devin Evans some love, man, down at Southwest Mississippi.
My boy. My boy. I love this kid.
Shout out to Brian Bender down there, head coach, and Coach Jeff D, assistant coach down there at Southwest Mississippi.
For sure. I got you. Hold on, Huff.
Mhm.
Outlet.
Now, I'm not going to lie. I coached this kid in high school, so, hey.
Look at that. 3.28 qualifier. 6'9".
Yep. Mm-hmm. Can step out and do some things now.
10 rebounds a game per 40 minutes. That's a translatable stat. Hey.
Okay.
Hey, I seen that a lot at Duluth.
Huff, who's looking at him right now? Did you know?
He's got Mercer, Stony Brook. It's in a North team.
Mhm.
It's Cal Poly out west.
Yeah.
You know, I'm kind of surprised, and maybe because his team was really good, man. You know, you got a kid named Good News who was a transfer from Kansas State. The kid that's going to Kennesaw with Coach Amir, Spencer Rogers. They got another guard, Damian Deere, down there. So they had some dudes, man. And, you know, he runs the floor, he rebounds, he can step out and shoot it.
Always following it. Ooh. Sleeper game. Sleeper game. Don't back up. Don't back up.
And you know, I think this is a kid who has, in 2 or 3 years, man, we'll be talking about this kid even more.
He's gotten so much better, man.
Yeah.
Even since you had him too, man. Look at. Had a good chance to watch a kid play JUCO, man. That was some high level basketball, bro.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like, that was real.
And then my last kid, Coach BJ Roy over at Mountain View, he's got a kid. A lot of people talk about the 2021 kid he has, but he's got a 6'6" big that I do like. Sean Akers Kennedy. He's gotten so much better from when I first saw him. I think he moved in from out of state his sophomore year to Coach BJ. He's gotten so much better, man. So much better.
We got you up, Huff. Go ahead, bro.
He's a 6'6" kid who can run the floor. He can pick and pop. That's what I was more impressed with, is how well he shot the ball, how well he was running the floor this year when I watched his film.
I just love BJ Roy as a coach, man. Like,
Yeah,
that's one of them teams that I always go see when I get a chance to watch the coach. Man.
yeah. Look at it. Like I said, can shoot the three. You're gonna see a lot of that of this film. Him being able to pick and pop and shoot the three. Like, that's a deep three right there. That's not somebody who's just shooting it every now and then.
Run the floor.
More athletic than I probably thought. You know, when I saw him early on in his career.
I like him a lot, man. He's a worker. He's a workhorse, man. Like, just like everybody come out of that Mountain View program, man. They play so hard.
Yeah.
Good shot, boy.
You know, maybe a little undersized for some people at the 4, but you know, like I said, right there, like, that's how hard he goes, just going to get it.
I love it. I love it, man.
So those are my 3, man. I tried to give you a guard. I gave you some 2 versatile bigs, Bryce. So I gave you a Ute, Bryce. Where you going? Where you going, Bryce?
I'm going back to the backcourt.
I got you.
I'm going back to where I belong with the guards. So I got a kid that I really don't even know much about. Treshawn Wilson. He played at New Manchester. It's like a 6'5" guard, shooting guard. I don't even know what he has going on, but we played him in the season, and he gets it done. Mid
They had
range.
some talent over there. Oh, hold
Yeah,
on, my bad.
they
My
do.
bad, B.
Can you see it?
Yep.
Yep.
You good?
Go.
Mm.
Plays well above the rim, knocks down the shot. I mean, tough shots too. And he's every bit as he's legit 6'5". He played with Team
DJ
4.
Raspberry.
Played with and Raspberry, and then
Yeah.
New Manchester has they had a good team this year.
Man,
They
they got some
did.
dudes, man.
Yeah, they had some dudes. But he plays with James Forrest and Team Forrest. He played with them last summer. So I like I said, I really don't know what he has going on, but I've seen him play and he's solid.
Very, very.
And then my other guy is, of course, I had to take it back to the Canes. Always got to do that. Let me make sure you guys can see it. Can you see it?
Not yet.
Okay, make sure I share that. I'm gonna start sending my stuff to Mondre.
Hey, man, you gotta know who the point guard is, man.
Hey man.
Yeah.
Hey, by Tuesday, man, I got all Huff stuff.
All right, you got me now.
Yeah, we got you now.
All right, so Robert Ward, he actually came on late in the summer, didn't play the whole time. Kid at great grades, Westlake High School, good scores. Actually interested in playing at a HBCU. So I'm not sure if anybody's listening or watching.
We
These
gotta highlight that. High academic kid too, right?
Yeah, high academic kid. Yep.
29 on the ACT.
Yep.
And would love to play at HBCU.
3.7. Yep. He's solid, man. He's real solid. I don't have his Westlake film, but you guys can go seek that out, I guess.
Oh, you showed the right one. You the AAU coach. Go ahead. Talk that talk.
It don't matter.
talk that talk, B. You the AAU coach.
I'll give you one more play and then I'll shut it down. But yeah, man, he's tough, man. He's real crafty kid. So those are my two Huff. Like I said, I went back to back to where I belong. I don't belong down with the 4s and the 5s.
Was he always at Westlake?
No, I don't know where he came from, but he wasn't always there. I think he was at a private school. I don't know.
He went to North Cobb Christian for a year. Then I think he went. Whoa. He had some. Yeah, he got messed around, man. GHSA messed that kid around because when he left North Cobb Christian, right? Yeah, he had to sit out for. He lost a year. He left North Cobb Christian, went to Kennesaw Mountain. Then he lost a year because of GHSA. They wouldn't let him play. Like he's a perfect kid with all the transferring and stuff that goes on. Man, he's a kid that got hurt by the system.
Coach James Williams is on. Coach James Williams is on here. He said the kid can go.
He's solid. Yeah,
he can play.
James,
he can play.
What's going on, baby?
James got one down there too.
Boy, he does. Hey, we gotta be quiet.
Yeah.
Y'all was wanting to be quiet because he don't want I know why he wanted to
be quiet. I'm gonna go with the kid from Sequoia High School first. I'm gonna start with a guard.
Donovan Ship. I already know where you're going, baby.
Donovan Ship, man. We always talk about kids. I want to show kids that help you win basketball games. Donovan Ship is a steady left-hand pocket pass. Like that's nothing. That's light. Donovan Ship is a kid that can help you win games. You talking about kids that you ain't got to worry about off the floor at all. The kids that I like them because if Donovan's gonna get it off, right? We always get guards that they want to get their shit off. He's not gonna waste a whole lot of time doing it. If I got the shot, I'm the point guard. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna go off the dribble. I'm gonna get this little mid-range pull up, or I'm gonna catch and shoot. If not, I'm gonna get off the ball. I'm not gonna waste your time, man. I'm gonna get off the ball and I'm gonna facilitate. So I really like what this kid does. He was big for that Sequoia program. Really stood out, makes a lot of plays, high deflection, and still kid, no look. What we talking
Man,
about?
he's a kid
What
that
we
makes the
talking
right
about?
basketball play. And Coach Carden, his head coach down there, he'll tell you, man. I know Jackson Greco is really good and is going to Mercer.
Yep.
I think he's going to Mercer.
He is. He's going to Mercer.
But he'll tell you Donovan Ship is what made them go.
Donovan
He'll tell
Ship
you
is
that point blank.
100%. The engine that made him go. You can find him. I think he's DShip15 on Twitter. Kid that's easy to find. Go contact Sequoia High School. Contact their coaching staff. You could get in touch with him. I got a couple more, and then I'm gonna show something for Locke too, man. Locke.
Oh, shout out Locke.
Yeah, shout out to our boy Locke holding it down. He sent me a couple of names for some South Georgia kids, so I want to show love to South Georgia, not for my own, but for the homie. So, let's see.
That kid from Washington. That's when you're pulling up.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and show that kid.
NAIAs, D2s, Juke. I mean, somebody. Sheesh.
Listen, man. Listen. Y'all better come find this kid, buddy. Hold on. Here we go.
Yeah.
Talking about. This is Demariante Hall. Kid has a 2.9 GPA. He's currently working with Hoops Hidden Gym. Shout out to the homie Dave Jones. Shout out to the coaching staff over at Washington High. Had a great conversation with them about this kid. They say this is a yes sir, no sir type of kid. A kid that gets
He's a
up
beast. Yeah.
early, catching a bus to the school, trying to get to workouts. Like, this is a grinder, man. And all he wants to do is play basketball and get an education. So this is Demariante Hall. I love me a big.
Those are some nice jerseys right there.
Love me a big that don't mind being big.
Coach Whedon went to Washington and did his thing, guys.
Hey, get up on that rim, boy. I love this kid.
He gonna try you. He gonna try you.
Definitely.
Nice. He drops that.
Man, I talked to Coach. Coach said, man, everything that I've given him, and he's only had him for a year, works on it all the time, man. Give me post. Kids don't like to post no more. And this is a kid that wants to play with his back to the basket. Don't have a problem with it at all. Get up on that rim, boy. Coach said he tried to dunk the screws out the basket. That's what he want to do.
Was he at Washington all 4 years, or did he come from somewhere else? You know?
He was at Washington all 4 years. I don't know where the kid played AAU at. But right now his recruitment is really open. I got a shout out to HBCU. He has an offer from Wilberforce University, HBCU. Wilberforce, I love y'all, man. Appreciate y'all for offering this kid. Y'all definitely a great home for him. But his recruitment is still open. He hasn't made a decision yet.
I want to see he has another offer, but I can't remember what it is right now.
JUCO.
Is it JUCO?
Yeah, he's got a couple of JUCOs.
Yeah, he's a beast. I've seen him too. He was another kid that would have played in April and
gotten some.
Woo-wee. Yeah, he would have gotten some.
On the right squad for sure.
Yep.
I know, Bryce, you got the Canes, but you know what type of kid he's a perfect kid for? Smyrna Stars.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can say that.
Coach Graham.
Hey, Huff ain't gonna say Georgia man up. Come on, Huff.
Man,
you ain't there yet, Huff.
You're not.
Mondre, I'm trying to get 17U, man. Y'all not helping.
Man, they just told you know your role. Stay in your lane, Mondre.
Stay in my lane. I'm stay in my lane. You right.
That first year that I did 17U, I won 2 games in live. So just know
you right.
When you step up here with the big dogs, we coming for you. We ain't playing no games, man.
Oh, they tried to get him with the start. This is Coach. We got Coach on,
what's
man.
Up, Coach Wheat?
Yeah.
What up, bro?
Yeah,
what up, man? We trying to make it happen for that kid.
Smarter Stars, yeah. You're right on, Huff. Smarter Stars.
Oh, no doubt, G. Hey, I'm gonna hit you right after the show, G. I got you. We trying to help every kid that we possibly can, man. Like this, if we ain't here for that, we ain't here for nothing.
And one
let me
thing I can
show-
tell you, Bryce, I've been around. I kind of know how kids fit in what AAU program. Like,
What you trying to say? My kid's bougie, man. What you trying to say?
oh man, he got to get run, right? You got some studs, man. He got to get some run. Now, not saying the kid can't play, but you know,
He would have played. He plays hard. He plays hard. He would have played. So,
Hey, so I'm gonna show 2 kids from Locke. We're gonna go all the way down to Mitchell County.
Mitchell County.
where's that?
Man,
You need lock on it. It's South Georgia. That's all you're gonna need to say.
South Georgia. Now, hey, this is where Larry. I know Larry Thompson went to high school here. That's all I know.
Well, when Larry there, it was Mitchell Baker now.
I'm gonna tell y'all something though, man. Honestly,
That's what I
watching this kid film, this kid, Derek Harris Jr., is one of the best shooters in the state.
This the kid you sent me from earlier, right?
Earlier today.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie about it. I've watched about 4 games. Before we show this kid highlights, I just want to shout out to the whole state of Georgia. Hey man, the reason why Georgia basketball is so great, because we could tweet out or send a message out, hey, I need film of this or that, and everybody just flocks to your inbox to give you film and give you background information. Without that, how could we even help a kid, man? So this
kid, Coach Hayes, Jarvis talked about being elite. This kid is elite. He's an elite scorer. He's an elite scorer.
6'3", man, combo guard, long. And what I like about him, man, is sometimes you see guys that are good shooters, but they're only catch and shoot shooters. Derek Harris gonna give it to you off the dribble.
Ask me his information.
Hey, hold on.
Got you, coach.
Elite scorer, man. I'm telling you, he gets buckets, man.
Bang.
You know, there's some dudes, man. Like you said, they might have some deficiencies in other areas, but this kid can score basketball, man.
Money.
What classification is this school playing? Do you know?
2A.
2A.
Oh, single A. He's in single A.
Single A public, I think.
Public. Single A public. Was in the running for Region Player of the Year. We're talking about
That's a deep three, man.
Dang.
He averaged 23 a game. He has a 4.0 GPA, coach.
Yeah.
What's his name?
4.0.
What's his name? Derek Harris.
Derek Harris Jr. from Mitchell County.
Down.
I think they call him Manny. But man, this kid, if he can't do nothing else, man, he shoot the leather off the basketball.
My question is, how have we not seen him before? Like,
because they're in Mitchell County, and to be honest with you, how many times are people going to Mitchell County to watch them play?
None. But
and it's the unfortunate part about a lot of schools that are down in South Georgia.
Coach, I'm telling, and that game that we just seen that highlight from, man, I'm telling you, bro, like he makes threes regularly. The net don't even move.
You know who he reminds me of?
Smooth.
He reminds me of the kid that I recruited at Alcorn State named Maurice Howard, who is graduating from Alcorn State this year as an all-time leading three-point shooter in their school's history.
Hey, man, it won't doubt it. I watched it and I'm looking, and then I start making calls. I call Huff. I call Dave. I just start calling people like, man, I don't know for sure, what I'm looking at. Let me, watch some more. But, man, one thing that stood out, if he can't do nothing else, he can do that. And to me, if you can make shots from out there, bro, them shots translate to me. Like, Derek Harris Jr., man. Hey, hit me up at Mondre Allen if y'all want his information. Coach Parker, I see you, bro. Hit me up, man. Hit me up, coach. I can't put it all. I can't put, his I agree. He should have 15 to 20 offers. He has one offer. He has one offer right now from Albany State. That's it. They offer on the spot. They saw him play Calhoun County.
Yes.
The Harris kid has one offer from Albany State.
Get him off the screen, Greg. Get him off the screen.
One offer from Albany State. Coach told me that Albany State saw him play and at versus Calhoun County was like, hey man, I don't know what's going on. We don't but listen, you got a spot with us. Got a spot with us. I'll anybody to hit, man, I will give y'all that kid's information. I got his pops. Y'all can call right down there and talk to his pops, man, and get all his info, man. 4.0, man, with a kid shoot like that.
Hey,
AJ White, what's up, AJ?
Yo, what's good, AJ?
What's good, homie?
Mondre,
Let's dribble pull up and all that DHSA.
The kids that we've highlighted on here are hoopers. Like, if you're a coach and you were looking for somebody that nobody knows, like we've been dropping some dudes, man, for real. Like these dudes can play.
And I'm telling, we've been giving people a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
London Riley committed to Alabama A&M. We had on the show. Trent Gordon has picked up 2 offers. We've got guys on this show that we've
highlighted last week.
Yep.
And what I be trying to tell guys that we've been giving people guys that can play at all at different levels.
Any level, man. Yeah.
Any levels, man. And we haven't just been giving guards.
No.
We started off by giving a bunch of 6'6", 6'8" kids. That's where we started, man. But that's from Locke, man. Shout out to South Georgia.
Shout out to Locke.
Always got to hold it down for South Georgia until Locke get back. I'm gonna keep shouting out South Georgia kids.
And we got somebody new to the show. They said they've missed some of the kids we talked about.
Hey man, we've been dropping some dudes, man.
Yeah, you done missed the treat.
Yeah.
You done missed it, Dick Don. You done missed it.
Oh man, hey, you didn't get in on this. Hey man, you better.
This recorded, right? This recorded, right?
It is.
Yeah, well, by the time you get the recording, that dude might be gone.
You might be gone, coach. You committed.
You got to be quick, baby. Good night. Hey, I'm on third base already.
You committed, coach. They yeah, man. You gotta hit rewind, man. We're gonna do it be kind rewind like Blockbuster, man. We're gonna get it back
up first to take a couple of them out.
Cut that part. you sent me the replay, but it was missing all the kids.
Oh man. Okay, let's get back to it, man.
All right, before you go, hold on.
Yeah.
Because we talked about with Jarvis and Jonas about having your role on a team. So y'all go from Western Carolina to Georgia.
Yep.
And y'all had some dudes, like some dudes on that team. People talk about y'all, but Ezra Williams, Michael Dean, what was the big kid from Carrollton? Steve Thomas. Man, y'all had dudes that were
Chris Daniels
that were dude like Chris Daniels from Albany. He was a dude in Albany. Steve Thomas was that dude at Carrollton. You know,
Ezra Williams was the #1 overall player in the country.
Yes. Talk about that, man. Like, talk about that experience.
I'll be honest with you. And I'll let Jarvis chime in too. Well, not let. He gonna chime in anyways. It's y'all show. But for me, what was the difference in that team right there was the camaraderie that we created. And so you dream about being on teams that where, and Coach Harry used to say this all the time. There's another John Woodenism. It's amazing what can be accomplished when no one cares who gets the credit. And the baseline thing that we had all in common, whether you were from Albany, Atlanta, Carrollton, North Carolina, or wherever you were from, we wanted to win. All right. There was nothing more important than winning. When you got high-profile guys like Jarvis, Ezra, and you got Damien, everybody got egos. All right. Everybody got egos. But what I talked about early on in this whole deal was sacrifice. Each one of us had to sacrifice what we thought was important to me and only me for the good of the group. And so you had talent on that team, but you also had guys who were just unbelievably dedicated and had an unbelievable amount of conviction to win. And that combination is hard to create and it's hard to duplicate.
Yeah, and like I say, you talk about the cohesiveness of that unit. And James Williams just said, he went to Statesboro High School. Rashard Wright did, and he was his teammate. As good of a team that we were, obviously Ezra and I scored, the majority of the points. We had any guy in our top 7 or 8 in that rotation could have led that team in scoring. And in my humble opinion, and Jonas and I had this conversation, a lot about, the togetherness of that team. As good as I was, Ezra was, and everybody on that team, Damian, Steve, Chris, Jonas, Rashad, the guy that made us tick was Rashard Wright.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, and Cabral, Coach Huff, you hitting it right on the head as far as like everybody playing their roles. And the type of team that we had and the offense that we ran, the UCLA high post offense that thrived on, being smart, that thrived on, ball movement, man movement, to have a type of guard like Rashard, who the year after I left won Defensive Player of the Year and was, I think he might have led the team in scoring or top 2 in scoring and whatnot. And Jonas as well was a double-digit scorer on the team in 2004. When you talk about the roles and how everything just came together for that one year, I think it would have been very tough for us to compete, to have the success that we had without that lead guard. And like Jonas, and like I say, I hate when he speak before me because we twins and we have the same thoughts. So he taking my thoughts right out of my mind. So I'm just regurgitating them. But
that's an SAT word. SAT word, regurgitate. Good job.
but we got along great. We gelled on the court, we gelled off the court, and like I say, the only regret that I have about that team that we didn't get a chance to play in the SEC and the NCAA tournament because I thought we had a chance to be good.
Man, y'all had Stegman rocket, man.
Yeah.
Y'all had people realizing Georgia basketball was for real. Y'all on ESPN. I remember y'all beat Florida on ESPN.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we were
number 3 in the country, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. 3 in the country. We were 19, something like that.
Yep.
It was
Mondre don't know about those days, Yeah.
Listen, I got to find somebody. Listen, do y'all know somebody that's good that can turn all my old VHS tapes into CDs?
That man said VHS.
Andre can do it. It just might take him about 3 months.
Listen, I got a boatload of old games that I need.
True shit, Bryce.
Mondre can do it. It just might take him a minute. If you got a deadline,
Mondre can do it.
Yeah, he can do it.
He got plenty of time during this quarantine time now.
That's not true. I'm still working 13 hours a day. But it will take me about 4 or 5 months, man. Look, so let me look, they be asking me to do stuff and I'll agree to it, but that don't necessarily mean that I know how.
Yes,
after I get it from you, I said yes, it sounds simple enough, but now I gotta go figure it out.
The Georgia Kane 17U organization, we have had to find a cameraman because Mondre doesn't edit the stuff fast enough so we can drop it on Twitter. By the time we get it, it's
Guilty.
It's 3 weeks, so it's over with now.
Guilty. Guilty.
Go to State Warrior. Yeah.
We were good, right?
Good point, Robert.
We were really, really good.
Yes.
Best available point guard, y'all know.
It's a lot. It's kind of hard.
Best available.
Trying to get his recruiting game on.
We're talking about prep school, Georgia kids. I mean,
that's where we gotta. Coach Nav, you gotta help us draw the line. Are you talking about available?
First off, let me say, I'm gonna excuse myself in this conversation because I think we got the best point guard in America coming to Xavier. So
we have stamped that. Numerous times.
Yeah. So I think I can excuse myself from this.
Jordan Brown. Yeah, I like Jordan Brown.
I can go. Brown. Listen, everybody who is on the love of the game.
We featured him last week, sir.
Yeah, we featured
Jordan Brown
last week.
Gotta catch up with the show, Coach. Come on now.
Go back to last week's podcast. You can see Jordan Snow Brown.
Kendall Latney. Who else?
I mean, Ben Raspberry is a point guard.
He said point guard.
He's not. I mean, I don't
More
know if you're
combo.
looking for a scoring point guard or if you're looking for a combo point guard or if you're looking for, a true floor general type point guard.
The kid that Huff featured from Johns Creek. Forgot his name.
Jordan Johnson.
He's really, really good.
Yeah.
He's really, really good, bro. You got to go. Hey, listen, Coach Nav, I'm going to tell you how you find the best available point guard. Go back to the last 3 weeks of this show.
Yep.
and we feature kids every single week, bro. And some good point guards too, man. Good point guards. Or hit us up on Twitter. Slide in them DMs. Just don't slide in Bryce's DMs because he talk about me. It might take a long time. You slide in Bryce DMs, you might be a minute.
Yep.
Yeah, man, I'm not gonna see it. I'm just being honest. I probably won't see it.
Unread.
Look at we have featured Nash Kelly.
We featured Nash Kelly already.
Kelly, woo, Nash Kelly might be my favorite. My favorite.
Now,
that we talked
Coach
about.
Nav, if you're looking for a real deal winner, point guard, championship point guard, I'm gonna get it done.
Man, scrap that. Nash Kelly would have been on my recruiting list.
Yeah.
From what we were talking about last week, had that went down.
I'm gonna have to call you on that one.
Yeah.
I blew you up today because I was hearing some things. We'll talk offline.
All right.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, we put Coach on blast last week when the Phoenix first hit the streets. He didn't want to talk about it though. He didn't want to talk about
I'm
it.
the same way though, man. I am the same way.
He didn't want to talk about it. Man, let's go there since we all here. We talk about this on every show. I consider our platform. Well, I'll just start back this. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. When I grew up, college basketball was king. It's the world. It means everything to us. But when I grew up, I had college coaches that were larger than life, that were almost gods to me when I grew up watching the game. And it was important for me to see. I didn't realize how important those figureheads were until I got a little older and they weren't around anymore. So when I talk about John Thompson, Coach Chaney, when I talk about watching 40 Minutes of Hell and Nolan Richardson, like all of those coaches played a huge part of my life. Even though I wasn't necessarily fans of their program, I was rooting against them, but they played huge roles in my life. The plight of African-American head coaches in college today, as assistants, I've heard every assistant, whether it's Dollar, CY, whoever we've had on this show has always said, I'm more than a recruiter. I'm a strategist. I'm an X and O guy. I could be a head coach. What's the toughest part about being a part of this system and being looked at to be a head coach? What's the whole experience like?
So for me, I think one of the most important things a young guy can do, a young black guy do, we're on the subject, young black guy can do is always be aware of your appearance and the perception that you give off, right? Because if you walk around not carrying yourself as if though you're a head coach, people will not look at you like you're a head coach. I know that's a lot of it's philosophical and all, but I really do believe if you go around acting as if though operating as if though you're the CEO of your program, I think people start looking at you in that fashion. As far as how can you change the perceptions, get yourself involved in other areas other than recruiting. Yeah, every basketball coach in America's job is to acquire talent. Every one of them is, okay? But do you take the next step to involve yourself more at the program you're in other than recruiting? Because a lot of times I was a young basketball coach at one point in time. I would sit in meetings. You don't sit around and talk about anything until recruiting gets up. Then, okay, shit, it's my time to shine. Well, no, when you're talking about academics, what's your opinion? When you're talking about what screen to set, Jonas or whoever it is at this point in time, what's your opinion? When you're talking about player development, what is your opinion? All right, when you're talking about off-court issues, whether it be, disciplinary or how to deal with a parent or, okay, what are you going to say to an athletic director? What are you doing to give your opinion, to insert yourself in that arena?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And so people automatically gonna think, okay, yeah, you got to have a black guy on staff because you would think, quote unquote, that they can build the best relationships. That's kindred spirits and all that. But to be a head coach, you're gonna have to put yourself in different portions of your program to not only be looked upon, have that perception, but also be able to be productive. You don't want to be looked upon as somebody that's good at what they do, but they shit at what they're bad at what they do. So you have to put yourself in positions where you can change that perception, but change your productivity. Insert yourself in the academic part, insert yourself in scheduling, insert yourself in all of that. Then that's how you can start, being more prepared for that.
Yeah, and perception, like you said, perception is reality, and he and Jonas and I talk about this all the time, as far as like it's specifically about getting more involved in things other than the on court part of the whole operation. Getting more acclimated with academics, with the budgets or whatever it is that's involved with running a basketball program, is involving yourself in that. But I think the more important part of it is the perception of it, because perception is reality. You have to, Jonas told me this, like you have to prepare like for the role that you want, not the role that you have. If you want to be a head coach, you must carry yourself as such. And you have to do the job that you are in now, but you can do it as such and carry yourself and walk in a light of what you ultimately strives to be. Yeah. And the job that you have is the one that you currently have. But you have to exude a certain level of confidence and competency to be able to handle the job.
And another thing, do not be afraid to make relationships and connections to people in your profession. All right. And a lot of time people don't get hired about what kind of job they do. It's who they become to know, who they come to know. And so when the opportunity arises where you can get an associate athletic director at your school, I would challenge every young assistant coach, but since we're on the subject, but young black assistant coach at the school you are at, get to know your associate athletic directors. Because you know what? That associate athletic director is going to be somebody's athletic director in a decade or so. Get to know all your administrators. And so don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone. Coach Fox, you say all the time, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable in this business. Because once you start being uncomfortable, if you ain't going forward, you can pass. And so you got to be loyal to your coach, and you're gonna do the job. But when I'm not saying you go out your way to go somebody's office every Wednesday to, you know how to do that. When you have an athletic function where you got you got your associate athletic director. Once you make a connection with the associate athletic director, it's your job to maintain it. So how hard would it be when you find out? I'm big on birthdays. When you find out your associate athletic director's birthday, not even a card, a text. Hope you have a great day. Or Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving. How hard is that to do to maintain that? And so, because a lot of times, because there's not a lot of black administrators, all right? So if you are out of their mind, if you're out of their sight, you're out of their mind. So what are you doing to keep and maintain those relationships? Don't be afraid to create those connections. And obviously there's a line you don't need to cross. You don't want to be so consumed with trying to get the next job. You're not doing your job. But you got to keep those things in mind, man, and build a relationship. When you break down life, when you break down if you're white, black, tall, short, socioeconomic background you or your family from, all we got in this life is the relationship, the kindred, the connecting with people. And there ain't nothing more important than that, whether it's your student athletes, whether it's your coworker or your boss.
I know I was able to talk to it was a women's assistant at Georgetown, and he has a spreadsheet of anybody he has a network of or relationship with that has their birthdays.
Yep.
And it comes up in their phone, so it's a text. If it was
exactly right.
Yeah, it was whoever it was. And he said, that's the way that I keep my relationships going with people.
Question.
He said, if I'm watching games, it's easy. Yeah. If I'm watching games at night and they just had a great game or I saw something they did, I'm gonna text them about it.
No question. No question.
That's powerful. Small thing, but that's a big thing.
When you start to plant seeds, a lot of people think you want to reap the benefits of a planted seed tomorrow, but you can plant a seed in the year 2010 that you may not get fruits from that seed that you plant until 2018. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And so, but you got to plant those. But the more seeds you plant, if you stick with it, the more fruit you're gonna be able to reap. And this is a long game. Jarvis said earlier, this thing, and when you talk about a career, you ain't talking about a job. This is your career, man. And a lot of young coaches are getting, and I was there at one point in time. I was there when I was at Belmont Abbey, working with Coach Miss, the unbelievable opportunity. But, I was young, 27, 28. I was praying, I want a, Lord, please give me an opportunity to be at a school where basketball matters. I want a bigger paycheck. And I was praying for the wrong thing. You pray to be the best of where you are, but also don't lose sight of the fact when opportunity comes, build relationships. That's all it is.
And it's the difference for having a job and a career.
Mm. Yeah.
Mm.
Making it a career.
So you guys each have had experience with a lot of different head coaches. Who would y'all say for each of you guys influenced your coaching style the most, you think?
Oh, wow.
Top three, however you want to do it, Coach.
It's a lot of coaches that influence because I've played, obviously a lot of my experience come from my playing days, been in, on my second year in college coaching, but a lot of my experience.
Top 10 draft pick, by the way, just in case y'all listening, y'all don't know now.
Put up
top
numbers,
10 draft
put up numbers too.
Yeah.
Was not a bust. He was not a bust.
Top 10 draft pick now.
Like from an offensive standpoint, I think it's a smorgasbord. And Jonas and I talk about this all the time about all the coaches that I played for, in college, in the league. Flip Saunders was an amazing basketball mind offensively. Like the type of sets that we ran, and obviously, like my mind is naturally wired from a pro mindset from the horns and the sets, the pick and rolls. Coach Lanier at Georgia State now I think he's an effing genius. Excuse my language. I can't say Coach Lanier.
Okay, yeah.
I think he is I think he's Yoda, Master Yoda. Like he's I think he's an effing genius. And being around him, he's teaching me, and I'm learning a lot from him and the way he coaches. Say again?
He man need to wash his mouth.
I didn't say anything out of line. You keep interrupting me, son. But I think Coach Lanier is very good. Like I can't even describe the words for him. The way he communicates and like his systems and the way his wheels moves in his mind. I think he's somewhat of a genius. So like it's a lot of different things for me personally that. A lot of the coaches that I've had contact with, I think it's a lot of things from Coach Herrick at Georgia and this UCLA, high post UCLA offense. And, obviously Coach Saunders and Coach Eddie Jordan, who was my coach with the Wizards. He used a lot of that same concepts from the Princeton offense. So, it's a smorgasbord of a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, I'm the same way. You get down from X's and O point, what you learned from Coach Herrick when you played. Dennis Felton, when he was an unbelievable defensive coach. Mark Fox was an unbelievable defensive coach. But the thing I got from Fox is how do you build your scouting report, scouting X's and O's, defensive X's and O's. He played. He had the triangle offense. He was very, very good at moving pieces around, and he would devise an offense for our current team. But the guy I'm working for now, Travis Steele, he has to be the most offensive inclined coach I've ever been around. And just the forward thinkingness that he has in terms of just building an offense down to how we form the formation of an offensive career. You done met my coach.
Yeah.
He is as forward thinking of an offensive mind I've been around. It's just too many. For me, it's just too many to name. I can go all the way back to high school, Jesse Bonner. I can go back to Rick Ezio. A lot of you guys don't know him.
He's the AD at Riverwood right now.
He's still at Riverwood.
Yeah.
We left Doug to go to Riverwood.
Yeah, to talk about relationships now.
There you go. There you go.
And Jonas, I remember when you were at Georgia under Coach Fox, and I remember this like it was yesterday. And you said, he don't have a playbook written down; it's in his head.
That's exactly right.
And you said you came in and you said, "Well, Coach, can I get a playbook so I can learn these plays?" He said, You better remember them on the floor and then learn them that way."
But that helped me out because you look at offense through a whole different lens when you're able to recognize stuff on the court and not written down. And so I was able to start recognizing through my time at Georgia, and I'm pretty good at it now. As an action is happening on the court, you can start recognizing it, and you can either get a defense or you can tweak your offense to, just depend on how the defense is going. And so for me, it was a recognition deal. That when Fox said that was his philosophy, it helped me out tremendously.
Hey man, that one thing I want to go back to what Jarvis said about Coach Lanier. Huff, you and I were talking about it from when he walked in. The moment he walked in at that coaching clinic, Huff
took over the room.
Took over the room. Like he had complete control.
Listen.
I had no idea what he was talking about. He was teaching defense at first. I had no idea. All I knew,
they hadn't seen Star Wars, but that's Yoda. He's all knowing.
I was looking for my tennis shoes and shorts, man.
He was moving those chess pieces with those drills on defense.
Like watching them in practice and Huff, you've been
I got to make a couple phone calls here in a minute, y'all. I got to make a couple recruiting calls.
From day one, when we got together as a staff this summer, and we had our little coaches clinics with the new staff when we first getting together, and he was going over the pieces of what he wanted to do. Like, I'll be lying, guys. I thought we was learning Chinese math. I didn't know. Like he just opened my mind up to so many other things that, from my lens and where I've been, I was like, damn, you just don't look at it that way. And it wasn't necessarily that the sets were hard, but it's the manner in which he put them together. And when you take the pieces that you have, because his mind was already wired from the pieces that Georgia State had. And it's not necessarily what they ran at Tennessee. We did some things that they did in Tennessee, but how quickly his mind turned to and how he studied the players that we were getting returning and how he put them in the offense and made it work. And like in August when we was together in June, I was like, what the hell is I'm like, what am I seeing? But then the more we was together and then you saw what he was doing and then you saw it coming together and then you see him piecing it together from one practice to the next and how you add certain steps. And I'm like, oh my God, this man is a genius. And it just came together.
We're going to get to Xavier in a second, Coach. But one thing, I took my son to go watch you guys play at Georgia State, and we saw an exchange, and I told my son, I was like, yo, this is what you want when you go somewhere. Coach Lanier got onto a kid, and he lit him up. Oh, man, he lit him up. I think it was point guard. I can't remember exactly. Y'all were playing Middle Georgia State. I couldn't believe he was coaching that hard against Middle Georgia, but he was. Y'all. It was a game for about 6 minutes, and then y'all got busy. Y'all got busy after that. But he lit into a kid, and the kid responded, Coach, what am I supposed to do? What do you want me to do in that situation? Where am I normally when you call that? Like what? Like the kid is going back at him. He went back at the kid hard again. The kid tried to go to the end of the bench. He said, nope. Hey, come here. Sit right here. Yeah. Sit right here beside me. And he talked to him, and he smoothed that thing out, and he put the kid back in. Y'all go on another run.
Yeah. That's relationship building right there.
The game is over.
When you build a relationship as a coach as it's your responsibility to build a relationship with that kid, meet him on his level. You'll be able to coach him as hard as you have to if you break down that barrier of just simply being his coach.
Coach, the kid that y'all got coming, DeJuan Odom coming to Xavier. I said at the beginning of the year now, we were questioning who the best player was in the state. And I said, look, I don't know. BJ Boston was my favorite Georgia player before he left.
Very good. He's very good.
I said, but watching DeJuan Odom, I feel like I'm gonna see
we
something that I might not never see no more.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about him. He is the ultimate point guard. He is the ultimate leader. He has a magnetic personality. He's worried about connectivity. He's all about the right thing. The thing I'm most excited about, one, is that he is a winner.
Yeah.
He is a winner, and he is like a green elephant, or he's like Sasquatch, where you're trying to find him, you can't.
A unicorn.
He went a pink unicorn at that. He played for one AAU team.
Yep.
Played for one high school.
Yep.
You don't see that, and for me, that's what that's the type of leader he is. But also, that spoke to me though that he's able to endure some adversity. And now every day wasn't peaches and cream with the Celtics or with St. Francis, but he had enough intestinal fortitude. All right, Coach Fox used to talk about toughness. It's just the psychological hardening to adversity.
Use an SAT word.
That's SAT word. And so for me, that is directly that's translatable to the college level. You know, he's not going to step foot on Xavier's campus and think everything's going to be peaches and cream. You got cookies falling from the sky. No, Skittles fan. In his case, he likes Skittles. It's not going to be Skittles falling from the sky, and it's not like that. And so he has, because if you give up the very first time, the next time you get adversity, it's going to be easier the very next time to give in. And every single thing that DeJuan represents is high character, tough as old nails, as David Boyd used to say, tough as old nails, and he is a winner. There ain't nothing more important.
That was
if
both of you guys went the game.
Huh?
Go ahead, Jonas.
If it's one word people use to describe you, and that word is winner, hey man, I'd sign me up any day.
That was, I mean, when we played them, that was what I talked about to them, to my guys. I said, look, there's not going to be a more competitive dude that wants to win on the floor. You better match that. You better match that. I don't care where you got to bring it from. You better match that. And,
better bring it.
We just came up a little bit short. But
no, I tell people all the time, that was that coaching that you, because I was at that game. No, matter of fact, me and Jarvis was at that game.
Both of them.
That was the single greatest, just how you handled that whole scouting report. And DeJuan is a great ball player, but you could tell without question that your team was prepared. Your team was confident. And when you got a prepared team combined with a confident team, you got a chance to do some damage. And I'm so excited to see what you can get going at a place like Holy Innocents, because that mindset, you can tell a culture has been set. It is in place that's going to allow, regardless of what your roster has, regardless of people going to want to play for you, but regardless of what your roster has, you got the foundation to be successful because you got a culture that's in place that nothing but your best is going to be expected. And so, but I'm even talking about just for the whole on the same page that you got your guy. That was a thing of beauty, man. It was really impressive to see. I
appreciate it, but other than us not getting a dub, right, Bryce? I
don't either. There's a lot that you can take from that game moving forward with your program, because I think that could be a turning point with your program to have your guys right at the precipice of doing something great. When I think you guys started 2-10 or whatever it was,
2-13.
Yeah, to be able to get to the point where you was a stone's throw from a Final Four.
Yeah,
get out of town. Are you serious?
Right.
Yeah. Coach, you guys started the year off this year by going to Spain.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what that was like for the team, man? Y'all came out the gate rolling after that Spain trip, man. Was it?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. It allowed us to get with our team early, to have some practices way early. We was practicing in June, so we kind of knew early on that we was going, if everything went according to plan, that we was going to be good. We went over there. We won 3 games. And so Nigel Marshall and a couple of our guys, they are super, super competitive. So we had some, how can I put this word? We had some intense, very, very intense moments while we were over there. But I think that was a great experience. I wish we could go have a foreign tour more than one time every 4 years, because I think that's very beneficial for our guys, just to put them in a different setting where you can build team camaraderie. It's a whole lot you can get done when you off your soil that you normally are on. And I really enjoyed that. I wish we can go again next year.
Coach, that I got a question for both of y'all, man. I watch so many of these games, man, at different levels.
Mm-hmm.
And whether it's JUCO, Division II, I'm always reminded, like I sit and watch a lot of Peach Belt basketball, always reminded, man, how many GHSA kids, like, y'all not ready for this level. Can you talk about like the day-to-day for a Division I athlete and what y'all see from most high school freshmen that wakes them up, that's like, yo, I'm really not good. Or not as good.
The thing about it, hold on. Like when you started out, I think the thing that gets most of the freshmen is, yes, obviously it's a challenge for them to pick up with the speed of the game on the court. But I think the structure that we put in place for these guys off the court, from the class to the workout,
you slapped it.
And
you took my thunder. I was getting ready to say the same thing. Go ahead, finish now.
So I think that's more of the grind, and then you add in the grinding of a practice, because like for most of these guys, they've practiced hard before, whatnot, but the combination of the academics and the things that we put in place outside of the court combined make the grind for these guys.
I think a lot of freshmen come in thinking there'll be no adversity. So when you're talking about everybody, they going to college, we don't have a mom and dad to wake us up. Time management is the death of a lot of freshmen. Time management, they wrap their rope around the neck, but a lot of times they do not expect adversity and they don't know how to deal with it. And so they don't know how to deal with having to go to class at 8 o'clock after you coming back in from a road trip, get back in at 1 o'clock in the morning. They don't understand what it is to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and run treadmills. Then you got 11 o'clock individual workout. Then you got a 3 o'clock weightlifting workout in between, all your classes.
You got to eat in between them.
And so for me, they equate success only when they're on the court. And they don't understand every single thing that you do. You putting money in the bank when it's time to withdraw some of that. When it's time to get your playing time, you don't get playing time, but what you do on the court. Okay, as a coach, a kid don't understand building trust. How in the hell?
Hey guys, they trust.
How in the world do you think, if you're a kid that comes to college that make it your habit to not making the right decision, you think a coach gonna then have faith in you to make the right decision when it's a tie ball game with a minute and a half to go in the game in the second half? And so if you put yourself in a habit of making right decisions time after time and time again, you build up your trust. That's how you can get what you want on the basketball court. But adversity, you got to go into college expecting you're going to have some adversity, man. And so when it hits them in the face, they don't know how to respond to it. Then they're looking for the next great thing, and that's what I think. If you're a high school senior right now, getting ready to go to college, okay, expect adversity. Expect adversity. That's why it's going to be vitally important you go with people that you like to be around, because it's going to be sometimes you're not going to like Jonas Hayes. You're not going to like Jonas Hayes every day. But if you understand that I got your best interest in, I've done a good job to break down that barrier. I'm going to be able to coach as hard as I need to. But when it's time to hit adversity, instead of putting your shields up and not allowing me to get in, you allow me to help you through that, And so for me, expect adversity. Expect it. Don't go into ain't no situation perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect situation. You're going to have to deal with some adversity. Deal with it.
Truth. Talk. I love the schedule. Coach, wait, they got to get up at 6 a.m. and run treadmills?
No, well, we don't do that all the time. we just a portion of the time. Like say, if you miss a mile time, well, okay, you got to get on the treadmill because we don't run around the track because we're not track athletes. We do run a mile, but we do most of our running on the treadmill to keep our guys' knees safe. We're gonna be to play as fast as we want to play though. Dre, we have got to be the most conditioned team in our league.
Okay, fellas, hold on. I got something for you right now. We're like, now, if you see me keep looking to the right,
because the Falcons about to pick. I know.
The Falcons are on the clock. So, who's the best available?
They're probably gonna pick the dude from LSU.
Hey, fellas, I'm about to get off I got a phone call before it get too late.
I hope they pick Chason. That's who they need.
That's what I think they're gonna pick.
Who? They need to get the edge rusher?
The edge rusher from LSU.
Whatever his name is. Yeah. I don't know. But that's who they need to get. And if they don't, I'm just going to pick up my computer and I'm going to toss it out the window. That's what I'm going to do.
They may trade back.
Well, hell, they were the last 2 weeks, they were talking about trading up. That didn't happen.
Anytime you start hearing all those rumors, that means it's false. You know they weren't going to do that.
Until it happens, it happens.
Hey, Matt Ryan's still your quarterback.
Hey, man, see, there you go with that.
Hey, great. He's going to the Hall of Fame, bro. Matt Ryan is going to the Hall of Fame. Look at his numbers.
He's going to get a championship for us all said and done.
Yep, that's what Huff say.
Thank you.
That's what Huff say.
He's getting old, though, boys.
Hey,
he'll be 35 next month.
I'm out of questions, man. Y'all are incredible, man.
We got to do this again. I tell you that much. Hopefully we'll be out of quarantine. We actually
go in the studio.
There you go. You go.
Hold on, Dre, Bryce, and Cabrera. We all got to get on the same page here. Since Jonas is not the only one here, we got to have our own customs when he come to town. So we got to make sure we check him. And if he got anything Xavier paraphernalia on, we got to send him back up north.
You can't do me like that, man. You can't do me like that.
You can come to the house anytime you want. My door is always open. Damn it, you got a key. But
so gotta take the Xavier stuff off.
I joke with him a lot, but he does a great job. And and like I'm technically the older twin, but I look up to him in so many ways. Yes, I do count those 5 minutes, fellas. I do. But he does a great job, and he is.
Talk about something else. That's enough.
Well, we appreciate it, fellas. We really do.
For sure.
I think we educated, entertained, and enlightened tonight.
That's all this is about, man. I had fun.
Gotta have fun.
I watch you guys. I'm gonna continue watching you guys. I may jump on your chat next time I see you guys on
there you go. We love it.
That thing live.
No doubt.
Sir. Hey man, well, we did some things, man. A whole lot of kids got helped, I think. I see a lot of clips, man. I got to get busy now. I got to edit. I got to post these clips, man, and make sure that people hear some of these gems that got dropped.
Yes.
But we about to get up out this thing. It's the Love of the Game podcast. We just gave y'all 2 hours and 7 minutes, baby.
And Sunday, who we got, Mondre?
Sunday. Oh yeah, Sunday. We going 5 o'clock?
Hey, Mondre, we did 80,000 views on that Last Dance. Just so.
Over 80,000 views. 85,000 last time I checked, man. Sunday we got another doubleheader.
All right, y'all. I gotta go. I got this phone call coming in.
We got you.
All right, y'all.
All good, coach. Do your thing.
All right,
yes, sir. We got on Sunday. We got 5 p.m. Coach Corey Black, C Black, Mr. D Free.
Yes, sir.
D Free in the building Sunday at 5 o'clock. And then join us for the doubleheader Sunday, 11 o'clock, 11:05-ish, roughly p.m. We'll do a live reaction show for the MJ documentary, The Last Dance, man. Incredible stuff. Make sure y'all connect and join. Make sure y'all hook us up. We're going to have more great information. Coaches, y'all know y'all got to watch, man. This is what we do every single week. We got more questions. Hey, Robert, I'm going to make sure we get that question answered for you, bro.
Yeah.
But coaches, we're going to have more kids on Sunday. Like, this is what we do, man. It's the Love of the Game podcast. Y'all be easy. We out.